Where were you in the summer of 1998?
Dude, it's not Halloween.
The new Dad Rock! Dad by day! Podcaster by night! Host Keith and Steve, two college radio DJs in the 90s, helped expose bands like Nirvana, Pavement, and PJ Harvey. They were to shows, interviewed musicians, and reviewed albums at various Zion papers. They worked security at concerts and once, even did loading for fish. Now, they're Dad. Whether you want to explore lesser-known music or take a trip down memory lane, tune to the new Dad Rock. Join hosts Keith and Steve as they navigate the ages together, sharing love of music across various areas and genres. Always well-intentioned, often well-informed, seldom boring. The new Dad Rock will expand your mind.
Well, I'll tell you, in 1998, I was in Montauk for the second summer in a row in my life. And let me tell you, that's a thing to do when you're in your early 20s and in love. And during my downtime on shifts in 1998, I was like, what is that giant radar-looking thing off in the distance? And the summer before, my friend and I had looked, but it was this whole thing called the Montauk Project. Do you know about the Montauk Project?
Oh, I do, because you got me a job there in the summer of 99.
Well, yeah. So the Montauk Project is this, super secret Tesla coil. Tesla, the scientist, not the car. Don't want any hate mail. So apparently there was this ability to transport people in time and space, and there was a movie called The Philadelphia Experiment, and all of this was top secret experiments going on in Montauk, of all places. You've heard of this, right?
Yeah, man, I'm all about the Montauk Project. I mean, it's basically Camp Hero's the name of the base, I think.
Yeah.
And you go there, and it's supposed to be shut down now, but it has a fence around it, but with a modern, security code to get into it. And then there's, car tracks you see that just go into a garage and disappear.
That's so funny, because the car tracks that go into a garage that disappear, I saw this phenomenon too, and it's like a huge hill. And built into the hill are these big garage doors that are the size that you could put a dump truck through. Yep. And, again, this is a base that's supposed to be abandoned and in disuse. And you can see, fresh tire tracks that had pressed down on the, it's like long grass going straight into the garage doors. So obviously something recently had gone in there. And it was a weird
And we're
vibe.
talking about different years. And we're talking about different years. You and I were not there the same years, and we both saw the same thing.
I saw that in 97. You saw that in, you're saying 99.
99.
Now. And this episode's about 1998. Great.
Dude, but I also saw UFOs there, man.
Did you?
Twice. I'm sorry. More than twice. I was with our friend Trevor. We would, after our shift, we would drive out to the lighthouse at the end of Montauk, right? So it's 110 miles from New York City, because that's the length of Long Island. It's
Long
thin,
Island.
but long. So on the South Fork, there's a lighthouse, because that's what they had back in the day. And we would drive out there and do what you just did. And after our shift, and we saw a hole in the clouds. We saw a bright light and
Hole
a hole in the clouds.
sky,
So,
Black Sabbath.
I don't know about that. That's one. The other one was Trevor was living in the Lion House, right? Do you remember that house?
Supposedly haunted.
Oh, I didn't know that. Cool. Yeah, but I would walk there from where I was staying, and seriously, any night I walked there, I would see lights moving around very rectangularly, and I would go during the day and try to figure out what it was, and it was, it could have been drone testing in 1999. I'm willing to believe that, but it was definitely moving that kind of way, very square. But it was so much fun.
There's also an airport out there in Montauk.
And a train station I've used. And a ferry system. Yeah, it's Montauk's terrific.
But I'm saying there's an airport all the way in the eastern tip of Montauk. On East Lake Drive.
Interesting. Yeah, I can't even place it.
So those
That's
UFOs
awesome.
may have been not
landing there,
but however, deed.
Oh, that's so much fun.
Identified.
All right, so
ID'd.
So we've talked about. Oh, but by the way, 1998. I think that's the summer I stayed with Brian in Brooklyn for a couple weeks, and we played at Brownies. Did you go to that show?
I think I saw you.
Probably not.
You pressed like a keyboard with 3 keys, maybe 2 times.
I totally did. I totally did. Yes. Yeah, we were at Brownies in Alphabet City. That's awesome. Well, thanks for coming in, dude.
Yeah.
That's a long fucking train ride.
I was there, man. It was great.
Yes,
I think Kristen was
too.
with me. Yeah.
I believe it. That's so hilarious.
Yeah.
That's so hilarious. I remember so much about that. Oh, wow. Okay. So it's 1998.
It's 1997, 1998. We're all waiting for the year 2000. Modest Mouse, dude.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh, you know what? I'd love to figure out which.
Summer can make me fall in love.
Dude, I think you should be the singer in my band.
I am the
Pretty
singer
good.
in your band. I'm just a singer in a rock and roll band.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Totally an aside. That Pavement film looks pretty fucking awesome, doesn't
The
it?
Pavements. Joe Keery's getting typecast into characters named Steve, though, right?
It's more that, like, the lyrics are perfect for that kind of movie. So the director or writer did a great job of, right? Like, I'm just a movie of your life. Whatever the fucking lyric is. It's really long. It's in the trailer.
It's a movie adaptation of the sequel to Your Life.
And that's exactly.
Everybody wants a shady lane. Yeah, so great. 1998. All right. Like, let's get to the point here. One thing I remember, I lived in a house in Montauk for the summer, and I knew the address. So what do you do back in the 90s every time you got a new address?
You updated your answering machine.
You got a new Columbia House account. Do you remember? So do you remember this?
I remember Columbia House, but not this scam.
Yeah, Columbia House or whatever it was. BMG was the other one. And
BMG.
You got a certain number of albums for like no upfront cost or 1 penny or $1.99 or whatever it was. And they mailed you all these albums. And then, 2 months later, you'd moved away and you had all these new albums. So in 1998, I remember getting like all the Bob Dylan and all the Steely Dan that was available.
Steely Dan. What's your whole take on Steely Dan? I don't think we've ever addressed this head on. We've touched on Steely Dan a little. Do you listen to Steely Dan last year?
I've definitely had a Steely Dan song has come up on some mix somewhere.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
And Steely Dan is a mood, and I feel like for better or for worse.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it.
People who take cocaine like Steely Dan.
Oh, that's what I was thinking. But that still makes no sense.
Yeah,
I just need to.
And I'm not in that brethren.
You are not. You are totally not.
Yeah. So, like when I put it on, I'm like, hey, this is pretty good. I like it. It's, you can't have too much of it. It's not even dad rock. That's classic rock, right?
Yeah, that's hard. Yeah, it's definitely not.
Yeah, but I try to go with the deeper cuts. But anyway, I remember the summer of '98. I lived out in Montauk at the beach, and every day we would, 5 or 6 of us, we were all waiters, waitresses, and we'd play like wiffle ball in our living room, listening to Bob Dylan, Blonde on Blonde, maybe, Steely Dan Decade. Yeah, that's Bob Dylan Desire. And then we'd also have Beastie Boys, Hello Nasty. And we'd have...
Oh, yeah.
And
Intergalactic, planetary people.
But that whole album is actually great. And Madonna, Ray of Light was huge that year. And our buddy Noviello, Steve, who also has a much more successful podcast than we do, but shout out to our buddy Steve.
I mean,
he's famous. He's famous. Anyway,
he is.
Back in the day, he was always like, swing music is coming back. So we would be listening to like Brian Setzer Orchestra or even Big Bad Voodoo Daddy.
That's fucking horrible, dude.
Yeah. So, but we were playing like not even wiffle ball. It was Nerf ball, like home run in the living room, listening to those albums on our 5-disc CD changer.
Woo! I love those 5-disc CD changers. Yeah. Hey, when I visited and you were working on the top deck at Gossman's, there was a famous author and artist and actress that you were serving. Was it the guy who wrote Catch 22?
Yes. So at this, I'll back up a second. I was a second year waiter, so I had a little bit more seniority, and I was
cool. You're cool.
I was cool.
You were homecoming king.
I was also a little bit older, by
and
I say a little bit older by like 1 or 2 years than the other.
Yeah.
And so
I was 26 and everyone's 20. You're right.
Yeah.
We were older.
So our manager is like, hey Nelson, can you take this table? There's a VIP coming in. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. Not thinking anything of it, and they sit down.
Right.
And it's Joseph Heller who wrote Catch 22, which if you're bringing 10 books on a desert island, I would bring
the Bible.
The Bible. I would
William
bring Catch
Shakespeare.
22, which is it's a great book. It's a great book to read, not only on the
Jasper's reading it right now, by the way.
Oh my god. That's funny. My daughter's reading Slaughterhouse-Five right now, and I'm like,
oh wow,
I'm so jealous of these kids reading these classics for the first time.
Oh, it must be so good. Oh, sorry. Okay, so it's the table you're serving is who again?
So it's Joseph Heller, and he lives in East Hampton. He's got a place in East Hampton, so it's not that surprising to see him out in Montauk. But he's got his friend.
Was it Mel Brooks?
It was Mel Brooks, and Mel Brooks is married to Anne Bancroft, so it's the three of them. And I just go to the table, and I'm like, hi, like, can I take your order? And I'll never forget this, but Anne Bancroft ordered a salad with no onions, and it's a restaurant upstairs, outside on the water.
Oh,
like
it's not that nice.
We literally had a dumbwaiter that sent the food upstairs. So our salads, of course, they probably had like 6 of them, that were made, within the last hour, but sitting there under wrap. But they've got a little, purple onion on the top, and I go over, take the purple onion off of it, and I brought it out, and she called my shit, dude. She totally called me on it. She's like, didn't you just stick this? Oh, man. So...
But did you leave one on there? Is that how she called you on it?
No, it's just like if once an onion's been on something, it's been there. Like if you've ever taken an onion off of a burger and then 3 hours later smell your hands, you're like, oh my God, I smell like onions. So
was she like allergic to onions, you think? Like, did you kill Anne Bancroft?
She just didn't like the taste.
Oh, well, then fuck it.
Whatever. Yeah, but fast forward like a night or two later, we were out in Amagansett, and we were at the same restaurant as them, and we were all out to dinner together. Big Monday night thing. Our tables end up just hanging out together, and
that's hilarious.
Yeah, so it was a pretty crazy night.
Dude, that's so awesome though. Like, by the way, that was like the one random day. I think I visited you for 1 or 2 nights that summer. And that was, I showed up and that's the table you were waiting on. That's just crazy.
That's funny. So Trevor happened to be working that day, but he was downstairs. Like he was, midweek downstairs is no good. I'm like, hey.
Yeah.
So he served them dessert, and he did he told me, he's like, I did everything in my power to not just walk up to Mel Brooks and be like, you are the god of all that is funny.
Dude. Oh my God. I mean, seriously, because I was a philosophy major. What is it? The History of the World Part 1. Like the biggest scene in my world is, so what do you, he's going to the unemployment office. It's like, what do you do? It's like, I'm a philosopher. It's like, oh, so you bullshit. He's like, no, I'm a philosopher. They're like, did you bullshit yesterday? It's like, yeah. Did you bullshit today? Yeah, okay, cool. Here's your money. Bullshit philosopher. Love it.
Well, speaking of history, one of the biggest albums of 1998 and still endures to this day. And
Wait, hold on. Before you say it, I know what you're going to say. It wasn't the biggest album in 1998. It's a giant album now, though.
Exactly.
Right?
Its reputation has only grown over the years.
Oh, so much.
And I don't know if I even understood it in 1998, but Neutral
I don't
Milk...
think I heard it in 98. Yeah.
No, we definitely did hear it in 1998 because I think you sent it to me in Montauk.
I was going to say 99. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Okay,
so
cool.
In the Aeroplane Over the Sea by Neutral Milk Hotel. It's their second and final studio album. And
Jesus, yeah.
I mean, if this is regular dad rock, I don't care. It's still the new dad rock because it's just completely insane compared to.
It's the desert. It's even if it's only 8 records, it's in my 8 Desert Island classics.
Wow, that's.
I'm just saying,
Wow.
dude. This album though, come on. Like, I don't know why I love them so much, but this album was so good. And reading the 33 and a third, is that how you say it?
Yeah.
You know those books?
Mm-hmm.
Do you say 33 and a third? Is there another way to say it?
No, because
Yeah.
that's like the speed of a vinyl record, 33 and a third.
Like, he would just go in Athens, Georgia, he would just go into the bathroom shared with like 6, 7 other people. I mean, the house was, and just scream as loud as he could. By the way, I also practice in my bathroom upstairs, so I get it.
Yeah, but this album totally. The reason I brought it up in the history column is because it's really the story of Anne Frank intertwined with his weird childhood. It's a total head trip, and it's an album again that should be listened to as a cohesive unit.
Yeah.
There's been a couple standout songs, King of Carrot Flowers, and people will cover that.
Holland.
One.
You know what's, dude? By the way, Jasper, like, he never listens to whole albums, but fuck, what was the album he mentioned today that I listened to the whole album of? Like, he just never, like, kids don't listen to whole albums, but this is Neutral Milk Hotel is only a whole album listen.
Yeah,
right.
100%,
Like,
especially this album.
Yeah.
And
yeah, totally.
Yeah. So I definitely, I would not include this on my desert island. I think it's funny. I think it was Darren that asked. He was asking us, you and I trivia, and he was like,
Yeah.
Is Neutral Milk Hotel in the Airplane Over the Sea one of the vinyl records in the new Dad Rock logo? And if you look at your sticker, or you look at...
And I answered, dude, I just heard this the other day. I said, yeah. And then you were like, no.
It's
right?
Olivia Tremor Control. Duska Cubis Castle is there, but not Neutral Milk Hotel.
Dude, by the way, I literally just listened to that like a week ago. I don't know why. It's not like I go around listening to I listen to my songs all the time, but I don't listen to our podcast that much. But I listened to that particular episode, and his questions were so fucking good. He was our best guest. Do you agree? He's also our only 3-time guest.
Yeah.
But those questions, he cared. He cared.
Yeah. I mean, we recorded that one interview in one night and used it as 3 episodes.
You mean the 3 episodes?
Yeah. That was all from the same night.
Dude, that fucker can talk. Okay.
All right,
hey,
we should get him back. We should get him back. Maybe.
We totally will. But let's go back to 98 for 1 second. I think one of your Desert Island classics, I could be wrong here, but I know it's your favorite album by this band, and this band is playing here soon, and it sounds like Disney-ass shit right now, and I'm not sure I'm going in Philadelphia, but Mercury Rev, Deserter Songs.
Mercury Rev, Deserter Songs, I will take on the desert island with me. You are correct.
Yeah.
So the background...
Even at 8?
The background on this album...
Record?
Yeah, even with 8. I love this album. So
Nice.
Mercury Rev started at SUNY Fredonia. So us as SUNY Geneseo graduates, we have to give a shout out to SUNY Fredonia. And they had Mercury Rev. And
they did.
Yeah.
Woo.
Dave Fridman, who became a pretty well-known producer in at least in the indie rock major label community.
Is he the bassist?
He was their bassist, and he ultimately...
I bonded with him, yeah.
Yeah, he was like recording Flaming Lips later. But anything, Jonathan Donahue from Mercury Rev was in Flaming Lips briefly. But Mercury
Oh.
Rev had two albums that they recorded in their SUNY Fredonia era.
Your Self-Esteem.
Yeah. And Bosie's.
Oh, Bosie's, yeah.
Yeah, so Mercury Rev were on their this is now their fourth album. I was a big fan of theirs. They had transformed themselves a lot between their second and third album. This is now their fourth album. And I happened upon it. Kristen and I were touring Europe, and we were in Bath, England, and I knew it had just come out. We were in the record store. On the record store, they're playing the latest Silver Jews album in the background, and I bought this Mercury Rev album, Deserter Songs, and I also bought a Bob Dylan live from like 1976 before
That's
the
so
flood.
funny. Dude, you have this whole Bob Dylan era I didn't even know about.
Yeah, it was
98, 99.
Yeah, so we bought that cassette because the car had a cassette player. When we got to Dublin, we stayed with our friends that we met in Montauk over the summer.
Of course, dude.
People were out there in the summer.
Yeah.
We got there, I recorded the CD onto a tape so we could still listen to it in the car. And it was Mercury Rev Deserter Songs. And
you love this album.
I love this album, and I can't describe the genre, and I can't describe why I like it, but it's just great from top to bottom.
By the way, that is a good way to describe Mercury Rev. You can't describe the music. By the way, what the fuck was I listening to today? I had the same thing with Jasper. Oh, was it Primus? I was like, there are just some bands that don't sound like anyone else. Like, it doesn't make any sense. In fact, it may not even be good, but you love it.
Yeah, so Mercury Rev. So also, like I said, I'm in Bath, England, and in this, cool indie record store, and I didn't buy it at the time, but Silver Jews American Water was what they were playing.
Yeah, it's the best one. Yeah,
on the, at the record store. Random Rules, Smith and Jones Forever. Like, my kids love that song for some reason. Smith and Jones Forever.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. I put it on a mix, and kids pick up the weirdest things, and that was one of them that they picked up. So, there's still hope. There's still hope for them.
Let's close out this weird Montauk Project stuff. Do you know that it was the inspiration for Stranger Things?
I heard it contributed to it.
Oh man, we're just so close to Y2K, right? Like the summer of '98. Were you worried about the computer shutting down in 2000?
I don't think we were worried about it yet. I don't think it had been identified. But what I do remember is Conan O'Brien's little skit, and it would always be like, "In the year 2000." That was funny. And I remember in our living room we'd had giant TV, like literally like 56-inch box, like it was the most ginormous thing, and we listened to music like Sean Lennon, Into the Sun. So
oh my god,
do you remember that album?
Yeah, was that his first one or
I don't know that it was his first one, but if you were gonna ever listen to Sean Lennon solo, I would say that. But if you're gonna listen to Sean Lennon in a band, he's in the Claypool Lennon Delirium.
Yeah,
which is good.
Awesome. I saw him play. I saw him play with Roger Waters' kid too, who was on keyboards.
Yeah, that was the Claypool Lennon Delirium, right?
Oh, I see. Yeah, no,
or Frog Brigade, or maybe they're under.
It was the Frog Brigade.
Yeah.
It was the Frog Brigade at that point.
I
mean, it doesn't matter what they are.
Yeah,
that was great.
Yeah.
Hey, there's one album that came out this year that we haven't mentioned. It's not a band we talk about often, and I really like them, but I don't listen to it often. But Sparkle Horse.
Sparkle Horse has an album this year?
No, in 97.
In 97. In 98.
He's dead, dude. Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, that's why it would surprise me that he had an album come out this year. So Sparkle Horse, Good Morning Spider. To me, this isn't quite the one. It
was the one before this one, right?
It was the one after this one, I feel like. What? Sparkle Horse got better every album. I feel like Sparkle Horse got better every album in this.
That's so funny. Oh, It's a Wonderful Life.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's 2001. I see. I was a Viva Dixie Submarine Transmission guy, which was his debut album from 95.
Exactly. That's a lot more punk and like rock and roll, where each one of his further albums got more mellow and further mellow.
Musical. Yeah. It's funny because I consider him in the same exact vein as Elliott Smith, which is like really musical folks, but they're like super tormented.
Well, yes, and two people who took their own lives. No, but I like the later Sparkle Horse with, there's some Tom Waits and PJ Harvey collaboration.
I think Elliott Smith's last live album also came out this year. XO. That came out in 98 on DreamWorks. So we had Either Or in 97. Then XO comes out. Oh, wait. Okay, one last song I want to call out. 1998. Sunny Day Real Estate. They're an emo band, right? Like, I don't really like most of their stuff, but they have this album that comes out in 98 called How Does It Feel to Be Something On? And the title song itself, How It Feels to Be Something On, is such a good song. I love that song so much.
Okay.
I just had to call it out. I'm going to put in the notes. I want people to hear the song.
Okay.
I mean, this is why Sunny Day Real Estate, Jeremy Einik and all that, that's why they're so big, because of these kinds of songs.
Okay.
I mean, the lyrics were just so good.
Well, I have two really quick ones that I want to mention at the time.
Go. I'd love to hear it.
Yeah. All right. Cat Power Moonpix. This is the one. This is the one I think that got me on Cat Power. I always loved her voice. She could sing anything, except for some of the live shows I've been to see her at. But I mean, honestly, on record, she just has such a gorgeous, haunting voice. Perfect, late night energy or Sunday morning energy. But the really big one, and I think I got into an argument with a cab driver in San Francisco around like 99 or 2000 about this. But I'm like, PJ Harvey is this desire, and it's weirdly my favorite album by her, and it's top to bottom every track. And I remember when Chris and I again were in that tour of Europe, when we bought Mercury Rev in Ireland, while we were in Italy, A Perfect Day Elise had come out, and it was like a big song on MTV's Italian version, so it kept being on the countdown every day, and we were there for a week, so we saw it every day in the countdown. And A Perfect Day Elise just always associates Italy with me. And this whole album, just like top to bottom, every song. Angeline, The Wind, My Beautiful Leah, Catherine, The River, Is This Desire? Like so many. If you like PJ Harvey, don't. If you don't like PJ
You love PJ Harvey.
I love this album.
Oh, wait. It doesn't make your
this one
8
might.
Desert Island Classics?
It really might.
That's so awesome.
Surprisingly.
That's so cool.
Like, it's on there until something else knocks it off. And it's not the Beastie Boys
cool.
Hello Nasty.
It is not. No, that's ill communication, obviously. All right, well, 1998, man. Thanks for bringing me back to Montauk. I mean, I know you were there in 97, 98. I was there in 99. You got me a job. Montauk is a special place. Maybe not anymore. But 20 plus years ago, phenomenal. And that, without Montauk, you might not be a dad. Yeah, I mean, we probably wouldn't have this podcast if you weren't in Montauk that year.
Yeah, that's for sure, man. We wouldn't have anything to talk about like the Columbia House Record Experience Extravaganza.
I can't believe you used addresses to get extra Dylan albums.
And Steely Dan, you can't forget, man. All right, well, thank you for listening to us if you've made it this long. Tell your friends. I feel like we need a little bump lately. I mean, we were just talking about Steely Dan. It makes me think.
Oh, my God. And look to the skies. You might see some unidentified flying objects. And you know what? They're just here to say hello.
To the new Dad Rock, thank you very much. Good night. We love you.